Welcome back, Focus Learners. We are bringing some serious energy to a heavy but honestly fascinating topic in today's explainer, saving distressed businesses. We're diving right into Dr. Mike Tang's groundbreaking methodology. It's called the dual track framework, and it's essentially a blueprint for holistic corporate recovery. So here's the big question. How do you actually save a dying company? Just put yourself in this scenario for a second. You're facing acute corporate distress. Your cash runway is, well, practically non-existent. Creditors are calling you nonstop, and that business model that worked flawlessly for a decade, it's literally collapsing right beneath your feet. What on earth is your very first move? Okay, let's dive into this. The stark reality is that corporate distress is widely considered the loneliest experience in a professional's life. We're talking about that classic 3 a.m. reality, where the isolated SME owner isn't just staring at failing spreadsheets, they're dealing with immense, crushing psychological pressure. To survive this, a leader absolutely needs a structured way to stabilize both their business and their own mindset. Which brings us to our first section, the dual track framework and the synergy of two rails. Let's keep moving. And this brilliantly illustrates Dr. Tang's core solution to that 3 a.m. reality. What you're seeing is an interface from the Corporate Turnaround Center platform, which operates strictly on a by-invitation basis. It's a system designed to bridge hard management science with the leader's internal state. Notice how it offers two distinct pathways, a default non-faith track and an optional faith track. Basically, you get to choose the lens through which you receive your recovery data. Moving right along to Section 2, the Secular Action Plan, or the Mathematics of Insolvency. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it approaches the company like a sick patient in a hospital. Because whether you opt for the faith track or not, rigorous, data-driven strategies are absolutely mandatory for survival. I mean, you can't just wish away a terrible balance sheet, right? This treatment plan requires 3 distinct phases, 3 entirely different leadership styles, and relies on one ultimate currency. Let's walk through this treatment plan step by step. First up is surgery. This phase demands an autocratic leadership style. You have to cut costs decisively and communicate some really hard truths fast. Next is resuscitation, where you shift to a more democratic style to get the business to cross over from loss back into profit. And finally, nursing, which requires a consultative approach to rebuild the company culture. The big takeaway, the leader literally has to evolve their management style as the company heals. Let's shift gears to Section 3, the optional faith track and stabilizing executive psychology. Let's move to and see how this builds on the default track. This second rail is entirely opt-in, specifically designed for executives looking for spiritual resilience during a crisis. So while the default non-faith track provides a clear AI-powered diagnostic based purely on performance, the faith option gives you that exact same diagnostic, but layers on ethical principles. It's designed to offer solace and targeted guidance prayers, drawing on biblical principles. It actually frames Jesus as the ultimate archetype of a turnaround expert, someone who decisively cleared the temple but then patiently rebuilt his team. It integrates this wisdom, but, and this is crucial, it never replaces the hard analysis. Because here is the absolute, unbreakable rule of Dr. Tang's framework. The rails never bend. The methodology is mathematically identical on both tracks. Choosing the faith option does not magically exempt a company from the brutal math of insolvency. A distressed balance sheet is going to get the exact same harsh Altman Z-score whether you are praying over it or not. The math is the math. Next up, Section 4, Trust as the Ultimate Currency, Bridging Math and Culture. So, what exactly connects the cold, hard, secular data with the human element? It's trust. Just look at this powerful quote from the source material. Trust is a prerequisite for turnaround, not a reward for it. Dr. Tang found that underneath almost every single corporate failure, trust had completely broken down. It's basically the invisible oxygen of any turnaround. Once it's gone, the whole company just suffocates. So the crucial point here is that trust isn't just some soft, feel-good HR concept. It has hard mathematical impacts on your business. In a low-trust economy, contracts are heavily lawyered, capital demands a massive risk premium, and crisis response, usually just denial and delay. But in a high-trust economy, partnerships form incredibly fast, capital flows at a discount, and crises are met with early disclosure. These soft ethical elements directly hit your bottom line. Bringing it all together in Section 5, Achieving Holistic Recovery by Synergizing Strategy and Culture. When we zoom out and look at the whole picture, a profound truth emerges. Trying to fix cash flow without addressing the underlying cultural rut is exactly like doing surgery on a patient with a collapsed immune system. The clinical execution might be flawless, but the body will still reject the cure. To get holistic recovery, you need both tracks. It boils down to this simple equation. Holistic recovery equals clinical execution times human acceptance times time. If you have a mathematically perfect secular plan, that's your clinical execution, but zero trust from your staff and creditors, your human acceptance, your end result is still zero. Both tracks have to work in perfect harmony. So, I'm going to leave you with a rather provocative question to ponder about your own organization. Does your business have a healthy enough immune system of culture and trust to actually survive a restructuring surgery? It's a tough question, but it's one every single leader has to answer for themselves. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this framework gives you a powerful new perspective on corporate turnaround. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.